I have been trying to think about the meaning behind that final page of Attack on Titan chapter 89 all day long. And I've came to two conclusions. Number one, since we are already well aware that when you eat a Titan, someone that was a Titan shifter, you gain their memories, either A, Aaron's memories are mixing with other people's memories, which is fucking up that final panel of the chapter, and so it makes it look like it's from the past and they're seeing the future, but in reality it's just Aaron's mind just fucking up because all of these memories are mixing together. Or B, which is just like, what? But B is possibly time travel. Now, hear me out, okay? So, what I'm getting at is, with B, is that there might be, the way it's going, there's a potential possibility there could be time travel with memories. Thoughts, so to say. So that would mean that all Attacker Titans, they're all connected through memory or thought. That means that previous Attacker Titans, they can get the memories of future Titans or even in the past Titans, vice versa, back and forth. Or A, going back to A, and just Eren having just insanity and he's just mixing a bunch of memories together and it makes it look like, you know, it's from the past, but in reality it's just him remembering things wrong because all of his memories are just mixing into one. Personally, I want to believe the A route of this. I really do. But B is also kind of interesting as well, but that's just where the chapter leaves us off on. We don't really know, like, is it A or is it B? Is it Eren remembering things wrong? Like, is he remembering things wrong into where he's just kind of going crazy because all of these memories are mixing? Or is there really time travel in Attack on Titan? Is that a potential possibility because of the end of the chapter? Regardless, though, very interesting setup. I do like the setup of that. I mean, it can go either way. We just gotta see where it's gonna go. Because as we know, we've been getting a lot of information about Attack on Titan recently. A lot. I mean, we've gotten so much world building recently to character interactions, for instance, characterization and development. I can't wait to see exactly which path this is gonna take and which one is truly what is happening here in this chapter. Now, before I get back into that, let's talk about the stuff with Ymir. So, Ymir's backstory gets dived into. Not to be mistaken for the original, you know, Ymir, the first Titan. I don't want anyone mistaking me for speaking about her. I'm talking about Ymir, our main Ymir that we've seen throughout Attack on Titan. So Ymir, her backstory is revealed. And it's a very simple but tragic backstory. It's kind of sad, because, I mean, when you think about all the things that have been going on recently in, you know, the recent chapters and stuff, this stuff right here, it just still, once again, shows you how cruel people can be, but also how humanity never really changes when it comes to certain ideals or viewpoints. Ymir, as a child, she was given the name Ymir, and we've recently discovered what that name means. It's a very, very important name. If you give someone the name Ymir and you're outside of the walls, most likely you're going to be executed because it looks like you're trying to start a rebellion, or you're trying to live up to, say, this person's like the reincarnation of Ymir from the past, which is going to get a lot of attention. Obviously, at the start, before it becomes really well known, you could possibly make some money off that. You can, get some fame, popularity, and that's the story we're getting told by Ymir, how she's like, when I was younger, I played the role of this person, I was playing as Ymir, and I had the person that was watching over me, he got richer, he had better clothing, I lived fine, just everything was getting better. People kind of bowed down to me and worshipped me and stuff. That's just kind of how it was. And she was like, I was just playing the part. I was playing the role, what I was given since I was a child. For instance, the role she was told to do, she was playing. She was just doing what she was taught. And over time, this caught the attention of the government, and they thought she was trying to rebel, or they were trying to rebel, and she was sentenced to become a Titan, which the past of her is finally revealed. So Ymir's past of how she became a Titan in the first place, and how she eventually became a Titan shifter, was explained in this chapter, which is kind of sad, because, I mean, she didn't ask for any of that. She was a poor girl, just given a name, and been used throughout her entire life, which explains her mentality of why she's always acted like she has to Historia. I mean, it explains now why she cares about Historia so much, why she loves her and all that, and then how she's trying to tell, Historia not to be used like she was used when she was in the past and when she was a child. That makes me sad, but at the same time, I do like that development we got and slash characterization for Ymir. It really opens my eyes up to what her character stands for throughout the entirety of Attack on Titan, and why she was constantly with Historia and acting like she shouldn't, be doing stuff like this or being used. It makes so much more sense now. So with that being said, I guess we can say one happy moment about that is that Ymir did, I guess, confess to Historia, like, I love you and all that. It was a real romantic confession, and it was kind of just brushed to the side real quickly, which is kind of sad in its own right, but in another way, it's kind of good, too, because, I mean, it might have been like Historia kind of accepted it, maybe. I have no idea, but, I mean, that is a potential possibility if those two ever meet, but judging by the conversation, Ymir doesn't have much longer to live. She will eventually die, because, we do know all Titan shifters do have an expiration date. They will die very soon. So, Reiner and all that, the Armor Titan to, Ymir, their expiration date is getting pretty damn close. So, yeah, I mean, the information we received for that, I definitely appreciate that. I mean, even though we had all that complicated stuff towards the end of the chapter with either it's having to do with time travel or we're having to deal with, just Eren mixing a bunch of memories, I do appreciate the, characterization we got for Ymir. Now, the beginning portions of the chapter, and pretty much is kind of like a mission briefing, or kind of just letting us know what has happened in the past couple chapters. It's kind of like a summary. That's the best example. The first part of the chapter, like the first half or so, is like a summary of what has been happening. All the information we have received, it was all compressed down into half of the chapter to just kind of get to know what is really going on here. So all the main top officials found out the truth about the books, to, Eren Yeager and his previous people that have used the Attacker Titan. They've all know now what is going on with the world, to the Titans inside the walls that will be used by the king, and all this type of information was all told to them. They now know, and now they're planning their next course of action, how they can use, Eren's power to be able to control other Titans, to be able to use the Wall Titans to protect themselves from the main threat that's outside of the walls. So, before everything is said and done, there is probably going to be a war outside of the walls to probably gain more, land, or finally just get freedom for themselves to where they're not surrounded by, Titans completely. Now, one other thing, too, that was revealed, which is kind of hinted at, it's not explained, but this is what Eren thinks is going on. There's a quick moment in the chapter towards, like, the middle, towards the end, routed in that section, to where Eren's starting to think about how he can use the ability. Since he's not of royal blood, obviously he cannot use the Attacker Titan's main ability. But he has used it once in the past, which has never been explained before, but Eren thinks he knows what is going on here. And now this is just, a hypothesis. He doesn't really know if this is actually what is going on here, but it is a potential possibility. He thinks if he touches anyone of royal blood, he might be able to use the power, because in the past, when he was attacking and he went after Dina, the Smiling Titan was going to punch him, you had to where he activated that type of ability. He activated the Attacker Titan's main ability, but usually you shouldn't be able to use that if you're not of royal blood, but he used it anyways. Which means is, when he made contact with someone with royal blood, he was able to use that ability. So, this means that if Historia somehow keeps in contact with Eren while he's in Titan mode, he can use the ability. So Historia is a very important key figure in the upcoming battles, because she needs to be next to Eren for Eren to be able to use the abilities. Or Historia needs to eat this man. One or the other needs to happen. So, yeah, Eren probably has a lead to how he can use his ability, but it's not completely confirmed yet. It is not confirmed if that is the reason. It could be something else entirely if it gets into time travel. As we know, the end of the chapter, it makes us either think it has something to do with time traveling, or it could have something to do with, just Eren mixing up memories. We'll see where that goes, and if it has something to do with time traveling, it most likely isn't connected with touching someone with royal blood. Most likely, it's something to do with time travel, and maybe sending messages to people in the past and into the future. One or the other could be going on. So yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. How do you feel about this chapter of Attack on Titan? I love you all so much. Please be safe. Chibi out.